everybody, welcome to my channel. So last year, at the beginning of 2015, I made a video that was called Top 10 Books I Want to Read in 2015. And today I thought it would be cool to look back at that video, see all of the books that I mentioned, and to see if I actually read those books, and then maybe set some goals for this year. So let's just jump in and look at all the books that I talked about in that previous video. The first book that I wanted to read last year was The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, which I actually didn't read. The second book was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, which I read. Good job to me. The third book was A Darker Shade of Magic, which I didn't read. The third book was Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, which I didn't read as well. The fifth book was The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, which I also didn't read. The sixth was Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, which I also didn't read. The seventh was The Diviners by Libba Bray, which, guess what, I didn't read. The eighth was Daughter of Smoke and Bone, which I read. I read two, as far as now. The ninth was More Than This by Patrick Ness, which I started but didn't finish, so that counts as a not read book. And then the 10th was Everybody Sees the Ants by A.S. King, which I also didn't read. So I kind of just read 2 out of those 10 books that I thought I was going to read last year. The reason why though was that most of those books were adult, like some of them, like The Miniaturist and A Darker Shade of Magic, and they were also really thick and long to read. So I mean, last year I was really busy with school, just like this year, but yeah. So I think that for this year I'm gonna set myself some easier books that I want to read. So we're just gonna jump in on that now. I already have a list and I'm gonna share that with you all. So I'm excited, I hope you're excited, and let's just jump in. The book I want to read the most this year is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. This is going to be the first book in her new Shadowhunter World series. I think it's The Dark Artifices. I'm pretty sure that's it. And it's supposed to come out on March 8th, 2016. I'm really excited about this book, and I think it's set in Los Angeles, and it follows Emma Carstairs, who is a descendant of Jem Carstairs from The Infernal Devices. I love the Shadowhunter World. I've read both The Mortal Instruments, The Infernal Devices, and also The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. I started the Welcome to the Shadowhunter Academy little web series, but I didn't finish that. But yeah, I'm just really excited for that book to come out because these are some of my favorite books in my favorite world, so I really cannot wait until it comes out. Secondly, I want to read the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This book doesn't have a cover or a title yet, but I know that it's going to be amazing because I've read all the books in this series up to Queen of Shadows, which is the last released one. And so I really cannot wait to read this next one because this is also a series that I love, and I love the characters, and I really want to know what happens. So on Goodreads, it says that this book is supposed to come out on the 6th of September of 2016, but I'm not sure about that, so don't count on my words. But yeah, so I cannot wait for that book to come out as well. Another book I really want to read in 2016 is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Now, I believe that this book is a heist book set in a fantasy world, which is actually the Grisha world from the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I read the first book in that series, and not the second one and third one yet, but I will. I swear. And I really like that first book, so anything that is set in that world I think I'm gonna love, and I love heist books, so I think that Six of Crows is gonna be perfect for me. Then I also want to read The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. Now, this isn't a new series, it's been out for a while, and it's a fantasy series. I'm not sure what it's about, but I know that it has fairies. And ever since I read The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black, I've been wanting to read more fairy books, and I just didn't get around to doing that yet. So with this, I hopefully will start reading more fantasy-ish fairy books, and so I'm very excited about that. I also want to read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, who's the same author of the Throne of Glass series. This book came out last year, and the sequel is supposed to come out this year in 2016, and I believe that this book is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast with fairies, so that's a plus. And so I say this with all the books in this video, but I'm very excited to read it. Another book I want to read is The Last Star by Rick Yancey. Now, this is the 3rd and final book in the Fifth Wave trilogy. This series is a great series. It's a sci-fi trilogy, and it's about aliens coming to Earth and taking over. And the movie of the first book is actually coming out on January 22nd, and I'm going to watch that with my best friend, which is just gonna be amazing. But I can't wait to read this book. I love the first one in the series. Not the second one so much, only about the last part, but I think that it was a great build-up for this last book, which I think is going to be really, really good. I also want to read Winter by Marissa Meyer, which is the last book in the Lunar Chronicles series. I haven't read this book yet, which is just awful of me because, I haven't really had time to read and I was in a reading slump and everything, but I can't wait to read this book because I need to know what happens to Cinder, Scarlet, Captain Thorn, and just everybody in the series, and I really want to meet Winter. I really want to read this book because I think it's going to be a great finale. Also, I want to read Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Now, I actually own this book, but I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. I have read 2 other books by Rainbow Rowell, which were Fangirl and Eleanor and Park, and I both love them so much. I reread them like twice each. So I can't wait to read some Rainbow Rowell again. And also this book is kind of different from the other ones because it's like, it has magic in it. It's kind of like Harry Potter, but not really. But like Rainbow Rowell and magic, I think that's the perfect mix. So I am really, really, really excited to read that too. I decided to put in this list a book that was in my list for last year, and that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Now, I have been wanting to read some Victoria Schwab for the longest time, and I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. But I think this book is going to be a good start to reading her novels because I think it's about 2 dimensions, and there's like 2 different Londons, and this main character travels between the 2, and it has a really cool synopsis, so I really want to read that. And I know the sequel is coming out this year, which is also exciting, so hopefully I can read the 2 and just marathon them. And then the last book I want to read in 2016 isn't so much of a popular one, but I've heard about it from some booktubers that I love, so I'm really excited to read it, and that is The First 15 Lives of Harry August. Now, all I know is that this book is about this main character, Harry August, that basically every time he dies, he's just reborn in another body, which I think is a really cool concept. I've heard about this book mainly from Reagan at Peruse Project, and she talked amazingly about this book, so I really want to read it. I'm not sure if it's YA or adult, but it doesn't matter because from the synopsis, I'm sure that I'm gonna love this. So hopefully I can get around to it soon. So there you have it. Those are my goals for 2016 and my failed goals for 2015. Sad moment. Hopefully I can actually achieve most of these books that I want to read during this year. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to because most of them I'm highly anticipating. Don't forget that I have Instagram at Lulu's Library, also Twitter at Lulu's Library, and I have a Goodreads that is always linked down in the description box below. Also, if you have any video suggestions that you want me to make, definitely let me know here or on any other social media. Suggestions are always welcome. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and even subscribe to my channel if you liked it even more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.